Our news article analysis is all about climate change, so without further ado, let's start.
Climate change is an ongoing global environmental issue that has been at the forefront of international discussions and scientific research for several decades. It refers to long-term shifts in global temperature and weather patterns, primarily driven by human activities such as the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial process. These activities release greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere, trapping heat and leading to a gradual warming of the Earth. Number 1 is rising temperatures. One of the most significant consequences of climate change is the global rise in temperatures. This warning trend has led to more frequent and severe heat waves impacting ecosystems, agriculture, and public health. Number 2 is extreme weather events. Climate change is linked to an increase in extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, droughts, floods, and wildfires. These events have devastating effects on communities and ecosystems. Number 3 is melting ice and rising sea levels. The warming climate has accelerated the melting of polar ice caps and glaciers, causing sea levels to rise. This poses a significant threat to coastal areas and low-lying regions worldwide. Number 4 is biodiversity loss. Climate change has profound implications for ecosystem and wildlife, leading to shifts in habitat, species extinction, and disruptions in the natural balance of ecosystem. Number 5 is carbon reduction efforts. Countries and organizations around the world have been making efforts to reduce carbon emission through initiatives such as the Paris Agreement. This action aims to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Number 6 is renewable energy transition. Transitioning to renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power has become a focal point in combating climate change as it reduces reliance on fossil fuels. The number 7 is activism and public awareness. Climate change has sparked global youth movements like Fridays for Future with young activities calling for urgent action and climate issues. Public awareness and concern about climate change have also increased. The number 8 is corporate and individual responsibility. Corporations and individuals are recognizing the need to reduce their carbon footprint and adopt sustainable practices.
The global climate crisis. Let's discuss various aspects of climate change and analyze the context, use of facts, data source, and potential basis or omissions. Use of facts and data. The article provides a comprehensive overview of climate change, outlining key aspects supported by punctual information. It mentions the cause of climate change, such as release of greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The article highlights the effects of climate change, including rising temperatures, extreme weather events, melting ice, biodiversity loss, and its impact on ecosystem. It discusses global efforts to combat climate change, including the Paris Agreement and the transition to the renewable energy source. The article references youth activism and public awareness as well as corporate and individual responsibility. Source and citation. The article is described as well-researched and features contributions from climate scientists and experts, while specific sources or experts are not mentioned. The fact that include extensive citations suggests a reliance on credible and authoritative sources. Potential basis or omission. Bias. The article content seems to align with a consensus within the scientific community on climate change. However, since it doesn't explicitly present a dissenting views or counter arguments, it could be seen as having a potential bias in favor of the mainstream understanding of climate change. While this is a common climate change reporting due to the strong specific consensus, some may argue that alternative viewpoints should not be acknowledged. Emission. The article mentions a Paris Agreement and renewable energy transmission but does not delve into changes, criticisms, or limitations associated with these efforts. It could have provided a more nuanced view by discussing hurdles and complexities in international climate agreements and the practical challenges of transitioning to renewable energy. Credibility and reputation of the source. The New York Times is widely recognized as a reputable and trusted news source, known for its rigorous editorial standards and quality journalism. It has a long story of journalistic excellence and has won numerous credibility adds to the reliability of the information presented in the article. Overall assessment. The New York Times article appears to be a reliable source of information on climate change. It provides a detailed overview of the issue, with an emphasis on fact and data, and it is sourced from reputable climate scientists and experts. While it leans toward a mainstream scientific consensus, it doesn't exhibit overt bias. However, to present a more balanced perspective, it could have acknowledged alternative viewpoints or addressed some of the challenges in climate change mitigation efforts.
The New York Times articles titled The Global Climate Crisis. Credibility and reputation assessment. The New York Times is a highly reputable and respected news source with a long history of quality of journalism. It has won numerous Pulitzer's prizes and is known for its rigorous editorial standard. The source is widely regarded as one of the most reliable and trusted sources of news in the United States and globally. In this particular article, The Global Climate Crisis, the New York Times provides in-depth coverage of the climate crisis, a topic of significant global importance. The article is well researched with extensive citations and contributions from climate scientists and experts. It adheres to journalistic principles by presenting a balanced perspective on the issue, highlighting the latest scientific finding in the acknowledging the urgency of the climate crisis. The New York Times commitment to accuracy and the quality of its journalism make this source highly reputable for information on climate change. It is a reliable source for those seeking credible and well-informed insight into this critical issue.
Global climate crisis. Informed educating, the article provides a comprehensive and well-researched overview of the climate crisis, including its causes and effects. It serves to inform and educate readers about the current state of climate change and its potential consequences, helping to raise awareness about the issue, strengthening belief in climate change. For readers who already accept the scientific consensus on climate change, this article can reinforce their belief in the severity and urgency of the problem. Present climate change as a punctual and pressing issue supported by data and expert opinion. Shaping public opinion, the New York Times is widely respected and its articles often have the power to shape public opinion. The article's emphasis and dire consequences of climate change may influence readers to be more concerned about the issue, potentially leading to increased support for policies and action to address it. Mobilizing action, the article highlights various aspects of climate change, such as youth activism and renewable energy transition. This information may inspire readers to take action, whether by participating in climate activism, advocating for policy changes, or adopting more sustainable practice in their own lives. Promoting trust in mainstream media. The credibility and reputation assessment of the New York Times as a reliable source of enhanced trust in mainstream media. Reader may be more likely to trust and act of information from such reputable sources. Igniting debates. Some reader might take issue with the potential bias or omission of alternative viewpoint in the article. They may see this evidence of media bias and use this to fuel debates of objectivity and press the climate change reporting. This article is likely to influence its audience by informing, educating, and potentially mobilizing them to take action of the issue of climate change. Its credibility reputation also may play a crucial role in reinforcing public trust in mainstream journalism. However, readers should always consider multiple sources and viewpoints to form a well-rounded understanding of complex issues like climate change.
Summary of key points and broader implication. Analysis of the provided article from the New York Times titled The Global Climate Crisis, What You Need to Know. These are the following key points. Climate change is a significant global environmental issue driven by human activities leading to rising temperature, extreme weather events, melting ice, biodiversity loss, carbon reduction efforts, renewable energy transitions, youth activism, and corporate and individual responsibility. The article is well researched, provide factual information, and relies on the contribution from climate scientists and experts. Potential biases include a lack of presentation or dissenting views and omission in discussing challenges and criticism of climate change mitigation efforts. The New York Times is a highly reputable and trusted news source, enhancing the credibility of the article. Broader implication. Media literacy. The analysis underscores the importance of media literacy and critically evaluating news articles. Readers should be aware of potential bias and omissions, as well as the need to cross-reference information with multiple sources. Trust in mainstream media. The credibility and reputation of a news source significantly impact readers' trust in the information presented. The New York Times' reputation contributes to the reliability of the article. Influence on public opinion and action. Articles like this can shape public opinion and inspire action on important issues like climate change. They serve as tools for raising awareness and mobilizing individuals and communities. Balanced reporting. While presenting the scientific consensus on climate change is vital, media outlets should consider acknowledging alternative viewpoints when appropriate, as long as they based on credible sources. This can lead to more balanced reporting. Debates and discussions. Articles that appear to have bias or omission can fuel debates about media objectivity and the role of the press in addressing critical issues. These discussions are essentials for a healthy democracy and informed criticism.